welcome back to Forza Horizon 4, and my Echo is still here. As per usual, we've got a new airplane to unlock today. This is the Napier Railton. Maybe it's not exactly an airplane, but it does use the engine from an airplane. I'm not even joking when I say this thing is a speed demon. It may not look like it. This was at one point the world's fastest car. So that is what we're gonna go and unlock today. And as per usual, we gotta check out the Forzathon shop. Oh, well, hello there, Porsche 917, the fantastic pig. To unlock the Napier Railton, all you gotta do is a season event. It's literally gonna take us like 10 minutes. Let's bang this out and see how difficult it is to drive, well, plane. Oliver, take us to the finish line. Fantastic. 3 stars across the board. Thank you, Oliver. And the Napier Railton is officially ours. Yes. Yo, this is gonna be another new manufacturer for Forza Horizon 4. That's pretty sick. Anyways, the thing costs $1 million in the game. It's actually B class. It's got 500 horsepower, 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. However, it's a bit of a heavy boy, weighs 4,500 pounds. That's coming from a big engine, a 24-liter engine. One thing I must say I love, if you see the texture on like the metal way back in the day, because this is a car from the 1930s, they kind of just put it over a mold and banged on it with hammers. It's really cool. There's a couple of things about this car that are very different from your regular car. For example, if we start driving around, you might notice it only revs to 3,000 RPM. That's because, well, airplane engine, but 2, it's also, wait for it, shoots a flame. It's got 3 different exhausts on here. This thing has a W12 engine. It's 3 different banks of 4 cylinders, and they're all kind of separate from one another, so it actually has 3 different exhaust systems. Don't ask me why that's the case exactly, but it is. Secondly, the other thing, now that you can probably tell, if we're driving, you may notice the front wheels, there's not much going on there. It doesn't have any front brakes. So if I slam on the brakes, it's just the rears, and it does not slow down. And the final thing that's kind of weird about the Napier Railton, if you bid it into something and you need to reverse out, you need to get on your cell phone and call your friends who are quite strong because it weighs 4,500 pounds to push you out because it has no reverse gear. I love it. It's a car that's built for one purpose and everything else is kind of secondary. Let's go take it over to a racetrack. Let's give it a go and see what happens. It's a rainy day out here in the United Kingdom. I'm about to get very, very wet. Anyways, Napier Railton, this thing in theory should be 1,000 times quicker than every other person in this race, but because I've got no front brakes, it's gonna be a bit difficult today. I'm just hoping the 24 liters of airplane allows me to catch up enough. Actually, if you want another fun fact with this thing, if you live in the UK, you can actually go and see it. Okay, maybe not right now. Head down to Brooklands and take a look at this Napier Railton. It lives in a barn at Brooklands, and it's still using the same engine and all the same major components that it did way back in the day when it set all of its top speed records. It's also the same place as Mercedes World, so if you want to go see some okay, can't stop. Okay, the Napier Railton is actually a death trap considering it has no brakes. I see a lot of people in Twitch chat are asking how fast this thing actually went because, like I was saying, it was the world's fastest car. Keep in mind, it was the 1930s. This thing clocked in at 170 plus miles an hour. Can't stop, dead. Well, Napier Railton, other than your colossal braking issue, because, well, you kind of have none, that's an awesome car. Super fun to drive. Literally, it changes the way you play this game, which is actually really, really cool. Anyways, let's go back to the festival and we'll see what upgrades we can do to it. I guess let's start it off with the engines. Nah, so we can't engine swap it. We will forever be stuck with the airplane engine. Okay, we can make it all-wheel drive, which drastically affects those specs on the left. Let's make it all-wheel drive. We'll do 2 different builds. This one's gonna be our race car. Anyways, we've got some different tires as well. Street tires, sport tires. You know what? I'm kind of interested to see how fast the Napier Railton actually goes, so I guess we'll get that on and get full thick boys. Yo, look at that. We can upgrade our brakes. However, it's only upgrading them in the rear. This thing is gonna be a death trap. I'm not even joking. Springs, we can lower it down, or rally suspension. Please tell me you can remove like 2,000 pounds out of this thing. Not exactly 2,000, but it'll do. After all of our upgrades, 760 horsepower, 4,000 pounds, maybe it'll be good. With the right tuning, this thing can go 200 miles an hour. No way. We've got advanced painting groups. Okay, so we can paint the actual car. Sadly, that removes like all the cool texture on here. Look at this thing. This is, oh, hold on. I've completely forgotten about one thing. People back in the day had mustaches, right? Yeah, I love this paint job as well. Anyways, this is only our first build. I want to come back and do another one. Shall we just take a look and see what it can do in terms of top speed? I'm not expecting much. That would be so loud in real life, you would actually lose your eardrums. We're not going to be able to do 200. 186. We're pegged. Hold on. Somebody's like, that whine is just your character screaming. There we go, 194. Come on, touch 200. 198, 199. 200. Oh, dead. I wasn't looking where I was going. I was just staring at the speed. Let's try the Napier out for another race, and we'll see what it can do. It feels 1,000 times better to drive now. Somebody's like, imagine your neighbors having this car and they wake you up at 8 a.m. every morning. Actually, they'd probably wake you up at like 6 in the morning because of how long I would imagine the starting procedure is for this car. Because it's got an airplane engine, does that mean you have to do all your pre-flight check? Oh, AI crashed. At least I'm not the only person who's having issues here. I will say I'm surprised it's as agile as it is, considering how big it is, how heavy it is, how bad the tires are and everything. You can really tell who's in a Napier. But like I said, we're keeping it authentic. If you wanted to, you could tune it, but I don't want to. Oh! Why did the other Napier just destroyed my rear end? Come on, bud. I honestly don't know if I'm the only person. Okay, gonna die. The braking line is a lie. I think we should I just want to do a test, really. If we do actually tune the brakes to be 50-50, then I think it'll actually act like a normal car. I don't know if this will actually work, but it's worth a shot. Do the brakes on 50-50 actually... Yo, the brakes on 50-50 work. Look at this. In turn. Oh, the Napier. If you want it to drive properly, you can. Oh, look at it go, ripping it through the streets of Edinburgh. This thing's awesome. Okay, well, let's go back to the festival. And I want to try out that second build that I have in mind. Before I begin, I'd like to apologize in advance because this Napier Railton is about to do something that wasn't even invented when this car was a thing. So here's what I'm gonna do. Street tire compound. We're going to make it rear wheel drive. Perfect. And then last but not least, rally suspension. I'm pretty sure this is now the world's heaviest drift car. 3,800 pounds. Is it gonna be a drift car? It's a heavy drift car, but it works. I mean, it's no super slidey boy. It's very, very heavy and the gears are all over the place, but that ain't bad. Let's go. Napier, send it in, bud. It's not gonna do that well on points, but this is so sick. It's really heavy. If it wasn't for the fact that it's so heavy, this thing would be really, really fun to drive around. Damn, it works. That's like 80,000 points out of a car from the 1930s. Drift zone number 2 in the Napier. Yo, the rear brakes actually maybe make it easier to drift this thing. I don't know. It's definitely a super unique car to drive. There's nothing else like this in Forza Horizon 4, and I think that's why it's so cool. It's got so much history, and I think it kind of deserves a look at, for sure.
Nick is a big twat for not making this yellow.
Yeah, well, Twitch, you got your wish. It's officially a banana. I think what we gotta say in conclusion, Napier Railton, it's a really fun car to drive around, and I highly urge every single one of you to give this thing a go. This thing is the definition of a death trap, and I think that's why I like it so much. Literally, the brakes do not work even a little bit, and that makes it perfect.